All right, we getting ready in 10 seconds.
All righty. Ready to roll.
You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
There you are. Good morning, everybody. It may be raining outside on this a little chilly Saturday morning, but in Rochester, New York, coming to you live from the Rock Palm Broker Studios, live here in Rochester, New York. Another week of Real Deal Sports Show. We talking sports of all sorts for the next hour, bringing you what's going on in the sports world. And as our live person just said, Deion Dawkins, hey, he was shirtless earlier this week, talking a lot of smack about the New York Jets, about how infamous the New York Jets football team really is. It's going to be interesting to see Deion when he puts his shirt back on and put the pads on, get ready to deal with the New York football Jets in the fall, because I'm sure he gave them an awful lot of bulletin board information. So he's our main guy. I guarantee you Deion Dawkins will back up his smack talk about the infamous New York Jets. They all about fame and fortune and not about winning football games. Just to give you a wrap-up of his conversation on Vlad TV earlier in the week. A lot going on in the world of sports. Like I said, we broadcast live from the Rock Palm Broker Studios, coming to you live this morning. Also wanted to give a quick shout-out, Challenger Community News, Rochester's largest weekly Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper each week. Matter of fact, on the cover, we have Diasia Fair, Rochester's Diasia Fair passes Brittany Griner on all-time scoring list. We're going to get into that Diasia Fair conversation shortly. She's on the cover. Patrice Funderburg is on the cover. Know that Funderburg family. Go way back with that family over there in the Buffalo area. And we got a lot of news you can use, as well as Clarissa Street Uprooted. That exhibit started at the Rundell Library. You can read all about that. And also the news photographer, Trinity Wilson. Welcome to Rochester, New York, over there at TVA doing her thing. Got a nice little profile on Trinity Wilson, the new photographer and camera person over at WROC TV, Channel 8. So check her out over there and see every week, Challenger Community News. TheChallengerNews.com is the website. If you can't pick it up at most businesses in the community, like the Public Market, other fine locations throughout the city of Rochester, TheChallengerNews.com. If you have an article or information to send in to the Challenger, editorial, editorial, editorial at TheChallengerNews.com. Editorial at TheChallengerNews.com. Send in your articles. We'll get it in the Challenger. Let people know what's going on in the Rock and all around the surrounding areas as we do each week on Real Deal Sports Show. And one of our regular commentators just stepped into the frame. J-GILLZ, welcome to the studio. Welcome back to live from Rock Palm Broker Studios. You gotta get over there. Get your significant other some jewelry, get them something. Valentine's gone, Easter's coming, and guess what? Mother's Day right around the corner,
right
y'all.
around the corner. Hey, good morning, Rad Man. Good morning, Real Deal Sports family. Yeah, it's going down at the Rock Palm Broker Studios as always. Hey, y'all better line them up, y'all. Valentine's Day just got done. Like you said, like the Rad Man said, you got Easter, you got Mother's Day. Some of you got a couple mothers that you got to take care of, so get it right.
That's right. That's what time it is. 559 State Street, 585-262-9920. Give Sammy and his crew, very qualified crew over there. Love those folks over there. Been a long-time sponsor of the show, the Real Deal Sports Show. They do a great job. So stop over there and spend some money over there at Rock Palm Broker. They can design something fresh. You got some idea in your head. He can put it on paper, put it together on that computer of his and over there and design you something unique and something truly your own at Rock Palm Brokers, 559 State Street, 585 area code 262-9920. Give them a call and let them handle your business and help you get something nice for that significant other. And speaking of significant other, J-GILLZ, we've been to a lot of camps. Let's get into this Cam Newton situation. What kind of football camps he's having where he gets into it with the campers, man? What's your take on J-GILLZ on Cam Newton's camp last week?
Man, one thing that happened, right, man, when you talk about Atlanta, we talk about the ATL, anything is possible. Man, I would have never in my days thought that a Cam Newton camp held in his home state of Georgia and his home city of Atlanta would ever escalate to that point and be so out of control to where you got Cam Newton, the former league MVP, took his team to the Super Bowl, and he's fighting these guys off the street. I never in my life, wildest dreams, could have thought something like that could have occurred.
Yeah, yes, indeed. That was a very unfortunate situation. One day, as we remember, J-GILLZ, Cam Newton was just a couple doors over, 3 tables over from us on Radio Row just a few weeks ago, doing his 4th and 1 show. And man, he was quite loud from Wednesday through Friday that he was on air. We could hear him. Probably if you check out some of our shows on YouTube, like us, subscribe, go to our YouTube page, Real Deal Sports Show. We got a brand new website up too, realdealsportshow.com. Check out the new website as well. But if you go to YouTube, check out some of the interviews. And thank you so much, people, for hitting up those interviews. We have a lot of great interviews on there. And in several of them, the Wednesday through Friday segments, man, you'll hear Cam Newton in the background because he was so loud and so hyped up with his live in studio guests, just 3 tables over from us. So this guy gets hyped. What do you think took place at this camp, J-GILLZ, from your analysis?
And from that point, just real quick, you know, after meeting Cam Newton, standing next to him, got a chance to talk to him, take pictures with him. The man is a huge man. The man's about 6'5", probably about 250, and he's just solid, man. He's solid. So I'm not trying to tussle with Cam Newton. So those guys, they had to jump him because ain't no way any regular dude just gonna go ahead and fight Cam straight up. That ain't happening, man. And if you saw in the tussle, his hat ain't even come off, right, man?
I know
he had that hat on all week. He had that top hat on all week, and even in the midst of this tussle, his hat still ain't come off. So we got to give Cam Newton props. But I'm not sure, right, man. Just for my astute analysis, I would have to imagine it had to do with some children. It had to do with somebody kids not getting their playing time, somebody kids not running the reps. You know, those camps aren't cheap. Those camps aren't cheap. They're quite expensive. And if you're paying that money and you're not getting your worth, sometimes it's going to get a little out of hand, especially when you're in your home state, in your home city.
Yeah. Well, we got a chance to hear the other side of the story the other night. Was interviewed by the Beat 105.5 out of Atlanta, out of the ATL, the Beat 105.5 out of Atlanta. They interviewed one of the brothers. There was 2 brothers and a third party that got into it. And the one brother was saying the 2 brothers used to work his camps. They used to work for Cam Newton. They fell out. They had a disagreement. They fell out about that. And they said they came back as players on this one team. And it said Cam was really treating them really rude and really razzing them during the game. Before when they first showed up, Cam had words with them and was running smack on them, basically talking smack. And as the team started losing and the game got late, Cam, I guess allegedly, according to this brother on the interview, that Cam was still running smack late in the game on this guy. So when they went up to approach him after the game to say, "Hey man, that was uncalled for," blah blah blah. Things boiled over, and the guy apologized for the action in front of the kids, the family. He said that was wrong to be in front of kids and family. They should have discussed it somewhere else. They should have discussed it man to man. And he said he just got him so mad they just started swinging off at him and really went at it with him. And you're right, Cam Newton still held his own, had one by the throat, another one by the hoodie, dragging him around like he was a dog, like he was walking a dog or something, man. It shouldn't get like that. But as the guy mentioned, he said, take a look at this other video of his camp last summer. And sure enough, you look at this video from last summer, Cam Newton got into it with a camper at that one. He got physical with somebody at his camp previously. So it can't always be the camper's fault, J-GILLZ. And a lot of these football players, when they retire from football, what made Cam great was his bravado, his Superman persona. And,
Absolutely.
it's hard to turn that off. Now he's off the field. He's not playing, and you need to tone that down. And he hasn't been able to tone that down yet. That's what it looks like to me, J-GILLZ.
No, absolutely. And even taking it back to radio role, just a couple of weeks ago, when we look at his personality, he was a bit standoffish, a little bit airful. You know what I mean? Just in the way that he acted and responded to some people. But that's just the name of the game. And when you have that type of confidence and that type of resume, and the thing is this, people been playing with Cam's name like he's not Cam Newton, former #1 pick, former NFL League MVP. So for him to act like that, it's like, he has to remind folks, I am Cam Newton. People remember disrespecting him, right, man?
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. They have in the league, the NFL. You can see he's not because it's bravado. He looked like he's been banned from the league basically because he's not even getting a tryout with some. And we see the mediocre quarterbacks that we saw this past season. Cam Newton could have played for some of those teams. Could have started for some of those teams. And why not? Cam Newton could easily hold a clipboard for a team and work with a team as long as he keeps that bravado down and not be talking to the media like he's the starting quarterback and help the young quarterback out. That's the key. You got to be able to help the young quarterback, not running that smack. And I think because he ran so much smack in the NFL, you got owners and you got coaches and things that hold that against him. And he's someone that still should be playing in the National Football League.
Oh, easily. And when you're talking about, these camps, I just do want to mention, not to get off of the topic completely, but when you talk about these camps, another huge camp that's been storming the internet, Tyreek Hill, and I'm not sure if you heard about that, but he's getting sued by a camp goer for allegedly breaking the leg of one of the young ladies who went to the camp.
Yeah, I heard that. What'd you hear about that? Did he fall up on the lady's leg, or what? What did the lady get? Was he even around when the lady's leg was injured, or?
Well, his attorney has denounced, obviously, the actions. He said that's completely false. I'm assuming the young lady this is allegedly, fell during the drill and broke her leg. But obviously, you got to go for the head honcho in that situation.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like he even had any contact with the lady. But yeah, these things happen. And I think I thought they signed a waiver before they go out on the field and go to these camps. I thought you signed, you just don't, you get your T-shirt, but you also sign something saying, usually it's a waiver or something that saying that you're not able to sue if you're injured or whatever the terms of the waiver agreement is for these various camps, because there's so many camps around and their injuries do happen on these camps. So Tyreek Hill was a little bit different, but Tyreek Hill is not laying hands on campers. Cam Newton is laying hands on campers, and he's Cam. You're not in the National Football League any longer. You got to remember, when you're not playing, you can't lay hands on campers, and should not be attempting to have words with campers, especially at your own camp. And I think he's part to blame, as well as the brothers, the other campers that were involved in the scuffle that took place at his football camp. He's got to be able to realize, hey, you're not playing in the league anymore. When you're not playing, you got to tone it down a little bit off the field of play. You just can't go at people like you did when you were playing, because these are everyday people. These are people working 9 to 5, overnights, and the whole 9 yards. They're not going to used to being disrespected in front of a group of people, and they out here, for free, basically. They're not being paid for this 7-on-7 camps. And those 7-on-7 games get real intense anyway. They're glorified flag football, semi-tackle type games, J-GILLZ. You know how those games can get. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And not to mention, I think it's also important that we report that no sides decided to press charges. So it was a scuffle that they were able to, mutually agree to leave alone, after just a conversation, which shows a lot of maturity as well.
It does. It shows a lot of maturity on all parts, and glad that things will be rectified in that nature, and things will come together, hopefully, down the road. And hopefully Cam will have better camps coming up. And who knows, he may even get an NFL tryout with somebody this coming fall. As you can see, these quarterbacks are still coming a dime a dozen. They're in the combine right now. Guys are just running. I don't pay attention much to the combine because they're in shorts and T-shirts running around. jumping, catching, throwing, the whole 9 yards. I'm concerned. I want to see them when they put the pads on. That's when I'm talking, and that won't be into OTAs. These scouts already done scouted them through last season. Brandon Bean know he needs a wide receiver. Hey, I would get one of those LSU guys if they're available, because LSU guys all seem to be very good wide receivers, and LSU receivers seem to do well in the National Football League. J-GILLZ.
Oh yeah, they've got a long history and track record, from OBJ to Jarvis Landry, Justin Jefferson. The list goes on. Jamar Chase. So absolutely, Brandon Bean knows what he has to get done, for sure.
Right, exactly. They know what they're doing for sure. Exactly. So that's the key part of it, and see what's what in that situation for sure. But let's move over to college basketball, women's college basketball. I had the pleasure of going to Syracuse, New York last week with Willie Washington Sr. and his son, Will Jr. Been inviting me all season, but the football season is just too damn long. They really need to start the NFL season Labor Day weekend instead of waiting that next week, and try to get the season over by early February instead of this middle of February is not working out, because when you get done, you're almost at the end of the college basketball season. They're in their final week of games, their last 2 weeks of regular season games, and then the tournament. Now this week they're going to their usual tournaments. But Rochester's own Diasia Fair, the Edison Tech standout, had another great game last Sunday against the University of Pitt Panthers. Brought them back in that fourth quarter. They were down 11 at the end of 3, came back and won it 63-53. She passed Brittany Griner to move into 5th place all time on the in women's Division I college basketball. And then on Thursday night, she dropped another 26 in a losing effort. I mean, it was a heartbreaker. They lost in overtime to North Carolina State down there in Raleigh-Durham, 75-71. A tough overtime loss for the Syracuse women, but Diasia Fair continues to hold her own and do a great job playing baskall and making herself accountable. She's a clutch player. They have some good rebounders. Elisa Latham can rebound. Georgia Woolley. Those girls are all good. Georgia Woolley, I was impressed with her. Alicia Latham, I like her rebound. They got really good rebounders on that team. Sophie Burrows at guard can also get hot from time to time. They got a nice starting 5. Another Rochester product, Sanaya Wilson. She's getting it together there, coming out of Bishop Kearney. The MVP of the last game I saw right at the pandemic was, I was telling her Sunday, last game I saw right before the pandemic started was watching Bishop Kearney beat Penfield out at Gates Chili High School there and win the championship. And Sanaya Wilson was named the MVP of that game. That was one of her best high school games. I'm saying that was one of her best games. She dominated the paint and helped them win that championship. Now we move forward. Fast forward. Now they're all on this Syracuse team that's going to be in the ACC tournament and also in the NCAA tournament. And with those 20, with the 26 points that Diasia Fair dropped the other night, now she's down to 3,326 points. She only 67 points away from the 4th place person on the all-time list there. So she got a chance, depending on how many games they can play in these tournaments. She could definitely 67 points. She's averaging 26. If she get at least 3 games of her average around 26 points, she'll definitely surpass that 4th place mark and move into 4th place all time. The girl's just having an outstanding career, J-GILLZ.
Absolutely, an amazing feat. We often so many times highlight, the men who are doing some great things in the NBA for Rochester, but there's so many women as well that we need to highlight, especially with Women's History Month starting yesterday. Just a great points, Rad, man, for highlighting that and the women that are doing great things in the WNBA right here from Rochester, New York.
Absolutely. And we're going to go to BacSpin. If you could put the Diasia Fair interview on, a brief soundbite from her after that game. And also, it was senior night, too. So they had a lot of nice awards and everything for the seniors. including Diasia Fair. Head coach Felicia Legrette Jack had some great said that one of the greatest players she ever had a chance to coach. Diasia Fair. They gave them their flowers and everything to the seniors. And it was an excellent moment after that game, and also after a come-behind win over the Pitt Panthers. And let's go to that interview with Diasia Fair.
How do you feel about this season, going into this season and the accomplishments that you achieved in your team?
I think this is probably the best season of my career.
What made it the best season?
Progress-wise, success-wise, and, what I'm able to do and contribute to this team.
Wow, even from the UB days?
Yes.
You just kind of grew from there and continue to grow?
Yes.
Beautiful. Anything else for the young people you say? Give a word of advice for the young girls coming up?
No matter what anyone tells you, you can do whatever you put your mind to.
There it is. Hey, J-GILLZ, she's a woman of few words, but she let her talking. She do her talking on the basketball court, J-GILLZ.
Absolutely. And you could just see the level of focus. There's just a level of focus that she plays with, the level of focus that she has, getting to the next level, and all wishes and well wishes to her in trying to achieve her goals of getting to the WNBA.
Exactly. I think she will be. I think she will get there for sure. I don't see why not. And she should be one of the top draft picks. I know Caitlin Howell probably go number 1 to Indiana Fever.
Caitlin, who? She just declared. Caitlin Clark. She just declared.
Thank you.
She will be entering the WNBA draft. She's a lot to go number 1. To go to the Indiana Fever, and pairing her with Aaliyah Boston, former number 1 pick last year out of South Carolina, that should be a dominant duo in the league. At least a fun duo to watch in the WNBA for years to come.
Oh wow, that's a nice duo right there, and they add a couple more pieces to it. Indiana Fever will be right back at having a chance at that championship.
Oh yeah, I mean both very young in their careers, but you got that size and you got that guard and that big. Pair it together with the range that Caitlin has and the paint presence that Aaliyah shares. It should be a fun thing to watch, and I think that women's basketball will definitely get better moving forward. Angel Reese still potentially can be going to the WNBA. She hasn't declared just yet, but that's another move that could be made. And just on a marketing level, it's just sports right now, women's sport especially, is just going through the roof.
It really is. It really is. And Lynette Woodard, a sister that was a serious basketball player, her record was broken by Caitlin earlier this week. And to me, that's the legitimate record right there. Breaking Lynette Woodard is the record that Caitlin broke is really the legitimate record. Now, the unlegitimate record now that I'm talking about now is what they talking about with Pete Maravich. There's nowhere in the world you can compare Pete Maravich and Caitlin because, number one, there wasn't a three-point play when Pete Maravich played. Pete Maravich used to drop 50 a game, and he was doing it at counting by twos. Half of his shots would have easily been three-pointers.
Absolutely.
And then number two, he only played 3 seasons. He only played 3 seasons of varsity. I remember watching him on TV in 72. It had to be 71, 72. And man, that guy, his shots would be Steph Curry reminds me the most of him because those guys could shoot from half court almost, and the ball would go in. It seemed like the ball wouldn't even touch the rim, J-GILLZ. It was just the net would barely wrinkle when the ball going through. You all net. It would be all net. You'd be like, wow, man, this guy. He said, man, this guy, and you couldn't guard him, man. Pete Maravich was turning, and man, don't let him get that shot in the corner, man. Oh, man, it was cash money. Yeah, for you to put up 50 points almost a game, he was always in the 40s or 50s almost every doggone game for LSU back then because they didn't really have other scorers on that team, obviously. He was the main man. They were getting him the ball. He would bring it up. Sometimes he have to bring it up. He would do his thing. But Caitlin, you're a great ball player, but no way in hell you pass. You're not passing Pete Maravich's record. You may be passing his point, but you're not passing his record because that man did not play in an era when they had a three-point play, and he only played 3 years of college. I mean, you're doing a great job. You're benefiting from the three-point play, but you would nowhere near be near where Pete Maravich's record would have been if the three-point play existed during his era of basketball. Man, I'm feeling old now because I actually saw Pete Maravich play. Man, I saw him his last 2 years. They used to have that the game of the week. He would be on LSU would be on that game of the week because of Pete Maravich because it is a man. And he was good to watch because that cat can shoot the ball, man. Like I
But
said,
the
Steph Curry,
comparison, right, man, have to stop, like you said, and that's just media, making something out of nothing. Caitlin Clark, there's no reason to even compare the two when you bring the facts into it. So.
Yes, indeed. When you bring the facts into it, there is no comparison. So the people, media, don't be fooled by the media this weekend talking about she passed Pete Mayer. No, she passed his number, but she didn't break his record because it wasn't apples for apples at all. The 3-point play did not exist during Pete Maravich's era, and they need to mention that during the show because that's a travesty to act like she's breaking his record when she's nowhere near close to his record if you counted the threes during his era of play. Definitely, if he didn't count it, his era of play for sure. I see we have a guest coming up on the show here. We're going to have a guest shortly. But I tell you what, BacSpin, if we could get the interview with Sanaya Wilson, a quick soundbite from Sanaya Wilson, Syracuse University power forward, if we could get that on.
How have you grown since your Bishop Kearney days?
I think it's about seeing the game on a whole different level. The intensity, the pace, and just having teammates who have the skill set I do and being versatile on the court.
Now, how was it at UB? You first started out, you guys, I think you were there, 1 year before you?
Oh, you done pulled me up there. I ain't even ready yet.
From starting out, it's always not where you started, where you finish is most important. But how was it learning at UB and now coming to SU?
I think as far as like learning basketball, it's great that I had the same coach at Buffalo that I do now. So I think that plays a big factor into it. But I think the transition from Buff to being at Cuse would once again go to be the pace. The MAC, I mean, that is very competitive and high intensity. So I think that translated over from high school to college. But as far as being in the ACC now it's not just about competing in intensity. It's now a faster pace and being quick and just next play and being on the go.
How important is it to take care of your body and get the rest and get yourself rested and then come back? Because you play so many tough teams in the ACC.
It's important. Our coaches, they stress to us all the time to take care of our bodies. And even in the off season, like when we're going hard to prepare for the season, still take care of your bodies, get in the cold tub. We get massages and we go to see who we need to see for treatment as needed. So it's important.
And last but not least, your goals for next season. I know we still got this season going on the tournament, but for your development,
maximize my potential. Do double. My goal each year is to double my impact that I had the year prior. So
excellent.
There was J-GILLZ. As you said, yeah, you remember her at Bishop Kearney?
Oh yeah, man. She was putting in work, the young lady, and now beautiful inside and out. Great interview. She did her thing.
She did her thing at power forward, and they dominated that game. The Good sisters, both of them were on that. I mean, they had 7th and 8th graders starting on that team, along with the senior Sanaya, and they really and that Penfield team was a strong team. They were their nemesis every year. Every year it seemed like it would come down to those two squads battling it out for the championship. And Bishop Kearney, because once they won that game, I think it was like on a Thursday or a Saturday, that following Monday or Tuesday, that's when everything shut down for the pandemic. So they were unable to play. They were unable to play for the sectionals after that date happened. Now, I remember that was the last time I saw, and that was the last time the last game that I was at live before the pandemic came into play. So it came into play there right afterwards. So, but we're gonna go to our guest right now, J-GILLZ. We're gonna go over to our guest. Remember, we're always award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. Always check out for auto, home, health, and life insurance. Always check out our sponsor and friend of the show, Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, auto, home, health, and life insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Call her at 585-360-0000. 0094. Like I said, if she's saving me and my family a hell of a lot of money, I guarantee she'll save you and your family a hell of a lot of money as well. So you give Miriam a call and check her out, and she can help you no matter what it is. Auto, home, health, life insurance. Give her a call. She's not only Farmers Insurance, but she has Progressive. She has other, she's really a broker now. So she has other insurance options that could help your family save you a hell of a lot of money. So check her out. And we're going to go to our guest that's sponsored by Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Farmers Insurance Agency, Terrence Singleton, the dad of Diasia Fair. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show, Terrence. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, man. How you feeling, man? I'm chilling.
Great. How was
Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Go ahead, J-GILLZ.
Good morning, and thanks for joining.
Yeah, no problem. How you feeling, man?
Doing great. What does it mean just to be such an established upstate New York athlete, being from Buffalo, then to Syracuse, and then obviously being from Rochester? How has the role of upstate New York helped you and your family with your sports career?
Oh, a lot, man. It helped a lot. You know, it helped you get experience different places and just be a part of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It helps, and it help you with your overall game because you're playing people from everywhere.
And that's
the best.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And how did Diasia get her confidence? Because she seems to be very confident, especially at crunch time. And that's that's an intangible. You know, that's not something that's given to everybody. You just got to acquire it some kind of way. How did that come about?
She always been like that since she was a kid. That's why I used to call her mama. You know how they used to call Kobe Black Mama? I used to call her mamas. I've been calling her that since she was a little girl. Like, she always had that killer mentality. Like, she always been like that player. Like, you got her on your team. Like, even when she played with me sometimes, give me the ball, Dad. I got this. All right, go ahead, huh? And she got this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Did she tell you she got this? She got this. She installed her own stuff. Like, she don't need nobody to boost her, or people always tell me, like, yo, all you gotta do is keep pushing her. You don't gotta push her. You just gotta support her. That's it. She gonna push herself.
Wow. That's
always been like that. She's so independent because she get that from me and her mother.
Absolutely, that's what I love. I'm raising a daughter myself. My baby only 6 months though, so to hear that words of advice is phenomenal.
Yeah, hell yeah. You don't gotta push them. You gotta support them. Support is the number one thing, man.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Now, what
they want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And she always told me when she was, remember this too, the beat. She been playing basketball since she was 4. She almost got 20 years in this game.
Oh, wow.
That's phenomenal.
That is.
Ain't a lot of players out there that can honestly say that. Like, yo, I've been playing basketball for 20 years. She's been playing basketball almost 20 years.
Wow.
That's
an amazing feat right there. And I also, me and the Rap Man just spoke on this recently. We see the success of, the Isaiah Stewarts, the Thomas Bryants, Rochester, and getting their men into the NBA. But there's been a lot of women from Rochester also very successful. What really goes into, why don't you think it's as publicized, the women that make it to the WNBA from Rochester and who are having this type of success playing D1, projected to be in the WNBA drafts for the years to come?
Hey, man, I know it's a lot of good women out here. I see them. There's a lot of women out here that's playing ball that's better than men. We don't, how that go. They just don't get that same recognition. But I know for a fact that there's women out here that's just as nice as men, if not better. And Isaiah Stewart and all them, they good. I know them. They're my daughter friends. I don't know them personally, but I have met them. I ran them off my porch when they was kids. No, they good dudes, though. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way, just just being a dad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, there's a lot of talent here, man, that people need to start looking into. But Rochester's so small, we don't get that recognition, man. But people like my daughter and Isaiah and Thomas Bryant and Anthony Lamb and all them, they putting us on the map to let people know, look, man, it's raw talent coming out of Rochester, New York. Don't just stop in New York City and ride passes to get to Buffalo, because you got to ride passes to get to Buffalo. And right. Buffalo, y'all got to ride passes to get to Syracuse. Everything got to come through 105 and the beat. Huh?
That's right, Terrence. You all on point. Yes, indeed, absolutely. And as she was growing up, since the age of 4, as you were saying, did you take her out of town to tournaments to play, or did she play AAU, or how did she develop?
She played AAU and all that. You know, she played for local rec center. Shout out to Campbell Street, the first team she ever played for.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them.
What's up?
Yeah, right there by Ames and all that. Shout out to them. But she played with damn near every AAU team. Like, she got one of her AAU teammates on Syracuse with her, Sanaya Wilson. Shout out to Sanaya Wilson too.
Yes, indeed.
And the Wilson family. They play AAU ball together. You know what I'm saying? She been out everywhere, man. You think about it. My baby been everywhere, man.
What would be your words of advice to other people with young daughters or young men that's trying to get into sports and seem to starting to excel in sports?
Do a lot of this. No matter what sport it is. Whether it's good or bad, you like this. Next play. Let's go. That's all they need. They need to hear a voice in the clap. That's going to push them. That push they want you to do, you don't got to do it like this. You just do it like this. Support them. Always support your kids, no matter what they doing.
That's very good. And it definitely seems to be working out.
Preaching, man. You're preaching.
You see me, man. You see, go watch the film. You see, I run up and down the sideline. That's how I got in shape.
What you say?
I'm the sixth man on the court.
Yeah,
I'm calling out ball screens. I'm doing it all.
And what do you feel the relationship between Deasia Fair and head coach Felicia Legret Jack? How has she helped your daughter?
I love Coach Jack. She loved Coach Jack. That's like her second mother. I love Coach Jack too, man. Love him to death. Let me show you something. Matter of fact, let me show you something. All right, sis, hand me that right there, sis. Let me show them something. Let me show y'all something on the beat. Yeah, let me show them something on the beat. See this hoodie right here, y'all? Check this out. Can you see it?
Yes, so for us podcast people, yes, we can see it here. Yes, indeed.
See this Coach Jack and all of them on this.
Wow.
Says my family versus yours.
And
that's what that culture she brings over there. She brings a family culture.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Like they all like sisters. The team is like sisters and she the mom.
Wow. That's why
that's a good person. Everybody on that team signed this hoodie for me. With a note on it. Love you, Dad. They all call me Dad. But Coach Jack, that's my sister. I love her to death.
And that's why she moved over from UB to she followed her to Syracuse because of that love, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of nobody she could have played for Dawn Stilly. She could have played for all of them wanted her. But they didn't touch her right here where it count at. Right here in this heart where it count at. It's bigger than basketball sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
It sure is. It sure is. You're making a very valid point that a lot of young people don't think about. What's the best situation for them?
Yeah, and who gonna have my best interest in my best situation that I got going on for me? You know, we had talks and all that. She's like, Dad, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't have seen a lot of people, but it's just like they don't give me that vibe like Coach Jack. You remember, like, so what we going to see all these people for? Let's just go stay with Coach Jack. You don't need to go talk to them. I know you still want to, but you guys still, like I said, you don't stop them. You let them go experience what she want to experience. She wanted to go experience other places to see what they was going to say to her. When in actuality, she already knew in her heart that she was going to probably stay with Coach Jack. That's nothing that I'll never know to this day.
The closest there that she stayed, and that just shows it's proof where you if you're comfortable and you like the situation, why not stay there? Why not?
Yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? It's a good, comfortable situation. She lets you be yourself, basically.
Exactly. What do you think is the key? Before we let you go, we run out of time here. But before you go, what do you think is the key for them to possibly win in the ACC tournament?
They the key for them to win. I watch them. All they got to do is play their brand of basketball that they've been playing all year. They can win it all. Not just the ACC tournament. They can win the whole thing. Yeah,
I was looking at that. I was going to get to that NCAA tournament as well. They definitely have good shooters. They rebound really strong. I was impressed with their rebounding.
Hell of a rebound, and they got DUI Fair.
And there you go. But did you read my article? You must have read the article in the challenge. You sound like that's just what
top five dead or alive all time. NCAA D1 history.
That's right. That's right. You can't get you can't get much better than that. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you for coming on Real Deal Sports Show. We got
absolutely, and I will be channeling my energy after you. Got to get that energy, man.
Will do. Thank you for your time, and you have a great day. And good luck with the rest of the season with the tournaments.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. That was Terrence. That was Terrence Singleton, the father of Diasha Fair. As you can see, a very proud parent. But I really love what he said, J-GILLZ, about why not? Hey, if you're happy where you're at and you like and it feels comfortable to you, then stay there. There's no need to move.
Absolutely. He dropped a lot of gems.
He did.
He dropped a lot of gems on motivation and like you said, you got to stay there. But to me, what I took out of that is just to motivate. You don't have to be as hands-on. You can be hands-on, but just be a support system for your children. And that's really what I took out of it, especially with a young daughter myself.
Absolutely. And remember, Image Printing Service. If you need any printing service, check out a friend of the show, Manuel Floyd. Check out Manuel Floyd, Image Printer. You can always call Manuel for any flyers for your church. Those fans, it's starting to get warm. Temperature warming up. If you get those fans in church, Manuel can make those fans. You need business cards. You need those funny looking flyers that say those signs that say now open, that be blowing in the wind and in front of your business saying now open. Hey, Manuel Floyd can get those for you. Area code 585-360-0132. 360-0132. Area code 585. My Image Printer Marketing and Publishing Company, owned by a friend of the show, Manuel Floyd, another sponsor. And he's bringing us our next guest. Our next guest from the Democratic and Chronicle sports writer, Marquel Slaughter. Marquel, welcome back to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
Hey, what's up? Nice to see you again. Yesterday was good, fellas.
All right. Hey, I know you're on a busy schedule with the games. We saw you last night at the big house there for Blue Cross Arena early in the week. Gates Chilai covering the tournament. What's your take so far on the tournament? Who's really impressed you with this with the high school Section 5 high school tournament?
Well, I guess I'll start with you, Prep, man. They won the AAA yesterday. They beat a really good Franklin team. I've seen you Prep play online a few times during the year. There's a few games I tried to make in person, but couldn't make it. But I was able to catch online. But I was able to the quarterfinals. I've been following them since the quarterfinals in person. I finally got to see him the first game of the playoffs. Alex Webb, their senior center, he hit a shot with 1.5 seconds left in the quarterfinals to beat Russian Rieta. They almost didn't get past them, but they had a very impressive win over there. And then earlier this week, they had a battle with Aquinas and got them boys. And yesterday, the Franklin team they beat, they were up 20-something on them. And that Franklin team they beat yesterday was really good. And UPrep put it on them, boys. I was very impressed. I wasn't surprised. They beat them before, so I wasn't surprised that they won with AAA. I knew AAA was going to be anybody's. So I wasn't surprised that they won, but the way that they beat Franklin was very impressive. Their defensive intensity was crazy. Jamel Cotton had 24 points, 5 threes. It felt like he had 40. All his points was real impactful. They had the 2 dunks he had at the end of the third and the early fourth quarter just put the big house up in the roar. He was very impressive, man. His whole team, I'd say UPrep has been very, very impressive since I've been able to finally catch him in person.
Yes, indeed. I was impressed that they're not going with it's just not one guy. It's 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. They have a deep bench. And the guys that they brought in, they all played their roles. They did what they were supposed to do. And you could just see the unity where they just pressured Franklin and took Franklin apart. Franklin just didn't have enough players coming off the bench to help out. The starting 5 started getting tired and started making mistakes. And UPrep took advantage of those mistakes. BacSpin, if we could air what the head coach, Jerisa Crouch, had this after get over.
What was it when it looked like you made adjustments during the game and changed the defense and really stepped up the defense on them in that second quarter?
I just think it was more so the jitters. You know, they were nervous. We talked about it. It was going to be nervous and you were going to be excited. It was going to be a whole lot of emotions. And I think once they realized it's just basketball, I think everything turned up for them.
Okay, well, it wasn't adjustments too.
I mean, we just got to get up and pressure the ball more. I think we was so relaxed and backing off. I think, you know, get up and pressure and get after them and, you know, make them into, you know, make decisions with the basketball.
Yeah, you seem to force the issue on the offensive end. Your team seemed like they knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to go to the hole and.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, man. Defend, rebound, and run and attack. Go to the basket, attack the glass. We knew, you know, even though they got a big kid, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, he don't want to get in foul trouble. So, right, we got to force the issue. We got to make him go block shots.
And that's why you went right at him.
Yeah.
A lot. But now, what's the game plan now? You have next game. You have to wait for a winner out of Buffalo, or do you still play in this?
We wait for a winner out of Buffalo. I believe Niagara Falls and Lancaster play tonight, so we play one of them next Friday.
That's right. Would that be
in Buffalo?
In Buffalo next week.
Yep.
What overall for the season? What would you say your season went for your school?
I mean, it was great, man. You know, it was ups and downs, but we played one of the hardest schedules in Section 5. So, you know.
All right. There you have it. You have it right there, everybody. Wait, the comments. You think they're gonna have a chance against that or the team?
I haven't seen Niagara Falls in person this year, but I think they have a good chance only because of Section 5. We had at least 3 or 4 teams that played Niagara Falls this year, and they all played them pretty well. Victor opened the season up against them and took them to overtime. McQuaid played them pretty good. Franklin went over there and played them, and there's probably another team or two, but whoever we've sent over there to play Niagara Falls has performed pretty well. So I think just off of that, and they'll have some tape to go off of similar teams or similar foes against them. But I think we got a good chance. Last year, Victor beat them to go to on their way to win the whole state championship tournament. Victor beat them in regional, so I think I don't see why not.
That's right.
But that is a traditionally good Niagara Falls program.
It really is. And don't forget, thank you for reminding me, Victor went all the way last year. And now tonight's game, you got a couple real, you got a lot of good, a buffet full of great games today. But when you get to the city schools in the evening, that East game at 6 p.m., what's your take on the last 2 games, the 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. games?
I haven't seen Wayne in person, but I know that's another good program that's pretty good. I think that's when I first got here. I think that's the first basketball team that won a champion that I've seen win a championship. They got there's a player on that team that has a little brother on the team now, Blankenberg, that's really, really good. But and that's a really good coach over there as well. But they're going up against this East team is they're looking like the real deal, man. This should be a real good game between them. East, they got a senior, Zamir Jackson, that starts, and then their next best 5-6 players are all juniors and sophomores. Coach Darrell has them over there running full court presses and really pressuring defenses, and that turns everything into offense. But even in the half court, they got a kid. They got some of the best shooters in Section 5. Micah Breedlove, shooter. Zion Parsons, he can score. He's been a starter for them since the 8th grade, I think.
Wow.
Keyshawn Johnson, or Keyshawn Leonard, I should say. He's a junior point guard. He's coming up the point guard ranks in the area. I've seen East probably as much as anybody has this year. I wish I could say the same for Wayne, but East looks really good, and they were ranked in the state #1 for a while. So I think they may be the team to beat, but Wayne is a traditionally good program as well. And then the double-A game, I've been waiting for that all year. Greece Athena and Victor, they both made really good schedules during the regular season, but they didn't play each other. I like to think that they had that in the back of their minds that they probably might be here. And this is a game I've been waiting for all year. Big contrast to styles. Victor, they won this AA last year. They won the whole thing, and they got a lot. Their best players are back. Garrett Clyde, he's a guy. He's one of the best 3 players in the area. Coaches have said it all year long.
Oh, wow.
He can dribble, shoot, pass. They play very good team defense. They got a kid, Nick Leonard, who's a stud tight end, DN in football, and he looks like it on the basketball court. He's a dog. He's a big dude.
Quickly, who you going to take as the music is on? Who you think going to win this one? Who's going to win it tonight?
I ain't gonna pick any winners, but it's.
Well, come on.
I've seen both of these teams just as much as anybody, man. Victor got some boys. Griffin Hopkins. Shout out to Cam Ryan. He just came back from a knee surgery. Greece Athena, though, 23-0, but they haven't been blowing teams out like you think they have. They've overcome a lot of deficits, and they've beaten UPrep at the last second. They came back to beat East. Corey Reeves, he's one of the best players in the area. They got a lot of guys over there. It's going to be a dogfight. That's the game. I've been waiting for this since November.
Well, Marquel, you don't have to wait much longer. It's going to be 8 p.m. tonight. Come on down to the Big House, Blue Cross Arena. Get your tickets. Come for that 6 o'clock game East, and then stay for the main event, which sounds like 8 o'clock. Marquel Slaughter, Democrat Chronicle, reads his articles in the publication. Catch them online. Hey, Marquel, thank you for coming on the show. We definitely got to have you back real soon.
Thanks, fellas. Take it easy, guys.
Hey, you take care. Have a great evening. I'll see you at the Big House. I'll see you at Blue Cross tonight. Definitely. J-GILLZ, BacSpin. Can you believe Sting is retired? He did his last show, 64 years old. I knew he had to be around my age because I watched him ever since college with NWA and all of that. Now he's on AEW. He wrestled his final show the other night. Sting, congrats. Yeah, the guy with the makeup, get on the top rope and do that spit, that dive move. I mean, that's a hell of a guy to still be able to do that at 64 years of age.
And don't forget, we had his protege right on Radio Row, Ron Darby, his tag team champion partner, and that can be watched right there on the Real Deal Sports Show YouTube exclusively.
That's right. You can see his partner. That's right. His partner was on Real Deal Sports Show a few weeks. Check out the YouTube. Like us, subscribe to it on YouTube. Yes, indeed. And we'll see everybody at Blue Cross Arena tonight. We got a hell of a lot of games. Some starting at noon with the kickoff of games, and then 6 p.m. the East, then 8 p.m. as Marquel just said, the main event at 8 p.m. tonight. Oh my goodness, can't wait to see it. BacSpin, you gonna be there tonight?
Sir. Tonight I'm not gonna be there. I have a gig tonight at Turntable Rock, you know what I'm saying? Soulful Saturdays. So I'm getting busy tonight, you know what I mean? But I'll definitely check the news out and keep abreast to the Real Deal Sports Show, because I know y'all gonna cover it extensively. So I know where to get the real deal, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to what happened at the game. So
yes, indeed. And I tell you, if you get a chance to, on TV, some of these Syracuse Unified women's game, that ain't fair, man. That girl can shoot the lights out when she gets when she makes her mind up to take over the game. She takes over a game. Yeah. To see her in person, she is awesome to see in person. So definitely don't miss it. Check out Syracuse next week as the ACC tournament kicks off. And we'll hope to see you. Maybe we'll see you later on tonight after the games, BacSpin. We may swing by your event afterwards.
Oh, that would be super dope, man. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
All right.
Time to get to it, my brothers. Y'all have a great weekend.
Take care. Like us, subscribe to us, Real Deal Sports Show on YouTube every Saturday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. live on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, indeed, Rock City. Keep it right where you need it. Y'all already know what it is. It's Rochester's home for hip hop and R&B, and the Back in Time Mix Show is on deck right here on the Beat 105.5. You know the vibes. Keep it locked.